Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiskey Book, where we have a little drink while we talk adventures, gear, and all the stuff that gets us outside. Irony is I'm doing this while I'm inside. So what do we got? What I have today is I'm going to do the best that I have knives under $40 off Amazon. I got a collection here. I've got 6 and maybe some bonuses, and I just think this is going to be kind of fun to see what we can get for $40. The category here is basically belt knife. You're going to get different grinds, different steels, different setups, but they're going to be that 4 to 6 inch. I don't think I might have one that's 6 inch. I think it's 5.5. But anyway, it's all in that range of belt knife, carry every day. If you could only have one knife kind of thing and your budget just doesn't allow to go with the big boys, boy, do I understand that. And that's what this is about. And I just want to put the caveat out here. I got all of these myself over last couple years, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Some of them maybe even longer. I've tried them all out. We've gone out to some forestry cabins. I've been camping this year through the winter, that kind of thing. And I've actually used all of these to some extent. I won't lie. There's a couple that I like that I've used a little more than others, but I have used them all. I've used them pretty tough. I've used them enough to know what I like and what I don't like. And so I'm going to kind of give them a rating. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to tell you that there's a couple here that are pretty neat for $40. I'm just going to list them out, what we have, and go from there. So in no particular order, I'm just reaching over here and grabbing what I have in my pile. I have the Odin Wolf, and I got some notes here, so I'm going to make sure I get the name right, because if you want to look these up, and I'll try to put the links below, this is the Odin Wolf W flat, coming in right under that $40 mark at $39.97. This one, it's called the W flat because it's got a flat grind. It comes also in a Scandi grind. I've got a few others with Scandi, so I wanted to try this in the flat. And I'll get into these more later. I'm just kind of doing the introductions right now. Second knife we have is the Beavercraft Bushcrafter with a Scandi grind, 1055 steel, full tang, scales with 2 attachment points. I've had this one on the channel before. Third knife I have is, oh, hold on a second. I got to go back to the Beavercraft. Beavercraft right now is $45, $44.99. So $45 for all intents and purpose. I bought this under 40, so I'm still going to put it in this showdown. And I think it's important that I do that because I got to talk about this one here after a bit in that $45 price range, especially when we start talking the prices of some of these. Now, this is the Fleesa fixed blade, just called the fixed blade, D2 steel. It is a very high, I don't know if you can see on the camera, saber grind. It's actually not too bad. I looked at this online and I thought that blade was going to be a chunky sucker, but it is not. It's actually not a very bad knife at all as far as size, weight, all that stuff. Comes with a, I don't think that's Kydex. It's a polymer type sheath with a clip on it. Then I got, again, no particular order here. You're going to see this doesn't probably look like what you'd see in the store. This is left outside an entire winter in a garden. This is the Mora Companion. This one is, I think, the stainless, which is, I believe, a 12C steel. I might be wrong on that. I know they use a Scanvic steel on this. I don't believe it's 14C. Could be. No, it's 12C27. That's what this is. Mora Companion. When I bought this, it was under $20, and the feel of that handle, again, kind of hard to see in the camera. Hopefully I have some B-roll that shows it a little closer up, but it's a soft grip handle. It's got a rat tang inside, so it's not a full tang. But this thing, this is my garden knife. This is my outside, just beat around knife. I've got a Mora in every vehicle, just about. Very plasticky sheath, nothing to write home about, but The Mora Companion, you cannot have a comparison under $40 in a like a companion fixed blade knife without throwing in a Mora. I swear it's illegal. I've said that before. Okay, next one. Big old chunky boy here. This is the biggest one on the table. This is the CV Life. This is the Survival Bushcraft. And that is a lot of knife for $21.49, $21.50. That is a high Scandi grind with a, yeah, it's definitely got a secondary bevel on it. I don't know if you can see, this is the only one so far that's taken any damage. I believe that was my fault though. I was out camping and I was trying to throw these into, I'd use them a little bit and throw them into a log. This one missed. I believe that hit a rock. So, you know, I'm not going to ding it too much on that. D2 steel, D2 highly underrated steel, highly underrated for the lower under $100 or maybe under 80 or even 60 and under. Let's call it 60 and under. D2 is pretty phenomenal. Plastic handle, plastic sheath, taco style sheath. And it, again, friction fits in there pretty nice, and it does have a retention screw. Last knife on the table is the BPS. You've seen this on the channel again. BPS Adventurer. That is 1055 steel in a Scandi grind. Full tang. I believe that's walnut. I don't know what the wood is, but it feels like, or hickory, I mean. Feels like hickory. 2 points of connection. Very nice leather sheath comes with the fire steel and a leather dangler. Go. Those are the contenders. And so let's back up. And I'm not going to spend a whole year going over these. I'm going to put these out in where I rate them right off the bat. Let's just get to it, okay? Okay, dead last, the Beavercraft. Let me show you something. There's one other knife that does this too. If you can pull the knife out while the retaining strap is still on there, I'm calling that hot garbage. This leather, I'm going to try to get it up there, is super thin. It feels... The word that comes to my mind is gross. Like it just flops in the wrong places. It bunches up in these corners. It looks like you tried to put on pants that were 4 sizes too big and they're bagging everywhere and you're just trying to make it look good and it ain't working for you. This leather is so thin. I feel like I could rip it. I couldn't. I think it's better than that, but it feels like that, and I don't like that. And it's so pliable. That's not good in leather. I don't want to be able to do, this with my leather. So that's first thing. Sheath. Again, these Beavercraft makes great little hatchets, and I used to really like them when they were about 45, 50, then $60, but now at 100, I don't know. And I've had this on the channel before, but I don't know if you can tell. This is what really kills me about this. This scale is much bigger than this scale. How that made it through QC, I don't know. It's got a lean to it because this side is smaller. It doesn't feel terrible. So if this was one of the $20 knives, I'm all for it. The balance isn't great, but it's not terrible. But this, when I'm using this, the blade's too long for what it is. It cuts fine. It didn't take any damage. I think it's the same steel. But when you compare this is now $45, and it's more expensive than the BPS Adventurer, which I have a previous video on comparing these two. I don't understand what they're doing here. I really don't. I'm sorry, Beavercraft, but when BPS is doing that, they're both Ukrainian knives. Please do a little bit better. If this came with a really nice sheath, like the BPS, I don't know how they do this for under $40. I'd pay 30 some just for the sheath. I really would. I'm looking at one right now for another BPS knife, and the sheath's 26, and or I might get one that's even more expensive than the knife. So the sheath, if they fix the sheath, I could say this is okay. But that handle scale being off tells me that the quality control is just not where it needs to be. It took a lot to keep this one off the bottom of the list for me. Now, this is the Fleeca. It's $19.19. So take that into consideration. For $19, actually probably pretty fantastic. I can't recommend it for people. I'm 5'10", 100 pounds. I'm about as average height, weight get. I have medium to large hands, and the handle on this is it just feels like it's a centimeter too small. My hand hangs over, the bottom of my hand hangs over the end here. If I try to get a full grip, it's hard for me to get a full grip. If I want to grip it like I want to use it, this the tang on the back that has the lanyard hole digs into my hand, and this is a really hard flat handle. I used to like flat handles. I don't anymore. I like to have a little bit of swell in there so your hand fits in there. If this had a choil where I could choke up right here, a finger choil, it would probably actually work really, really well. For 19 bucks, look, it held up. It did all the batoning and slicing and everything. It's a little duller than the rest, but it is what it is. Got some jimping on the top. Again, D2 still held up really, really well. Whatever factory this came out of, Fleece is kind of kicking butt with the steel. It's just a little too small for me, and I don't like the feel of the flat handle with the flat scales with the small handle. Just isn't working for me. It's not one I'm going to carry. The flat, the pancake style plastic sheath's okay. It's got a plastic clip. I don't love that. And something I've never been a fan of is I get why they do it, but they put the rope cutter in here so you can put your 550 cord and slice it. You know how many times that doesn't work? What usually happens is you put your 550 cord in here and it bunches up right there, and then you can't cut through it, so you have to take the knife out and slice it anyway. So don't like that. So that is number 6 is the Beavercraft. Number 5 is the Fleeca. Number 4 is the CV Life. The CV Life only beats the Fleeca because it's big enough. I mean, this is a big chunky boy in my hand. That's the positives. It's a lot of steel here, a lot of D2. It took the abuse again, other than the tip, but I'm pretty sure that hit a rock when I threw it down. Pretty sure I saw a spark. I didn't really see it, but I saw a rock down there, and that's what it looked like it hit. So I'm flinging it. It hit a rock. I can't blame the knife for that. It went through the batoning. There's no glinting or anything. There's some, not even that dull. There's some spots that it definitely dulled a little bit. What I'll tell you I can't stand about this is the super plasticky handle. Does have a bow drill divot for whatever that's worth. But what I can't stand, jimping. And this is hard jimping. And you add that to the flat plastic handle, and while it fits my hand and I can maneuver my hand and I can actually put my middle finger in the divot hole and keep the bottom, it kind of pushes the bottom fingers off of the bottom jimping so it doesn't hurt so bad. If you don't wear gloves with this, it's going to hurt after a while, and it did me. It's just too much jimping. If I was going to use this all the time, I'd get a file and I would flatten it all down to the handle is what I would do. I do appreciate the plastic, the lanyard hold back here. Is open, but it doesn't dig into your hand. This, guys, for $21.50, it's a good deal. I'm not saying that this isn't worth a buy if you just need a knife. You're on a ranch, you want to throw this in a tractor or a truck, you go out hunting, you do anything, camping. I wouldn't take this camp, it's just too heavy. But if you want to throw this in a vehicle just to have something heavy to pry and do whatever with, what I would call this, I would call the CV Life the poor man's Becker BK7. It's not quite as thick, but you could pry with this. Sheath, again, is a taco style plastic retaining with the plastic belt loop. At least, yeah, you can take that off and put something else on there. Do not like the plastic belt loops, but what else are you going to get for under $22? Great retention though. So I can't complain about that. That's why it's not below the other ones. But that is number 4. Number 3 for me. This would have been higher probably a couple months ago. I carry this one a lot. This is the Odin Wolf, the flat grind. Much thinner blade than the CV. You can wield this a lot. It's quicker. It's more nimble in the hand. You want to slice things, cut things. It just feels, whereas a CV feels like I almost have I'm carrying a lever or a pry bar, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This, the Odin Wolf, feels like a knife. It's got a nice, soft, overmolded handle. I believe it's a full tang in it. Yeah, it's a full tang because like the Fleesa, it has the lanyard hole that sticks out. Like the Fleesa, that lanyard hole kind of sucks because I don't know what it is with these under $40 knives, but I guess that's where they're saving the money because that handle, about the same size as the Fleesa. Why it's better? It's not flat. There's actually, if you can see it there, there's some swell there, and it has some contour there. Soft overmold actually feels really good for as thin as this blade is. Let's compare it to the Fleesa real quick. If you compare the steel, like the Fleesa is thick. This is thin, but for what it's for, both of these, that's a high saber grind. This is a flat grind. They're for slicing. This kicks butt. Has a nice belly on it. Like you can really slice down on things. This is a fantastic knife. What was this? $39.97. Like I said, this just smoked under that $40 range. Worth every penny of that. D2 steel. The sheath's okay. I actually had a problem with the sheath at first, so here's pro tip. That's not in. That's why I thought that was in before, and I was all mad because it was jiggly and fall out. You really have to push it in there, but once you fit it in there, you almost don't need the retaining button on there. You put the retainer on there. You have the nylon loop go in your belt, or you can take that off and put there's some holes here. You can put whatever mounting bracket you want on there. A Blade Tech would probably be really good on this. Fantastic knife. Why it's not higher and why it went down a little bit for me. That handle, again, just a little bit short. After a while, because I carried this for a long, long time, after a while, that it just kind of dug into my hand and I just didn't want to use it anymore. All right. Number 2. Isn't this what I'm supposed to do what number 1 is? Because you already know what number 2 is. No, but we're going to go in order. Number 2. Cannot beat it. I think they're getting up to the $20 range now, but the Mora Companion, and I specifically the Companion, I have the other Moras. I have the Cans Bowl. I have the cheaper one. What is that? The basic. I can't remember what the other one is. I hate the shape of that. Works like crazy. It's what we use to cut all our boxes and everything. Mora Companion though, lightweight, thin, even thinner than the Odin Wolf. This is again stainless, Scandi grind. This one's a little harder to sharpen. I will, before I jump into my next one, the 1055 steel of the Beavercraft and the BPS knives and the D2 steels, they sharpen up really easy just using a little block sharpener. Really easy. This one's a little harder. I've had some difficulty getting that right. I try to do the full flat, but I think it actually has a secondary bevel on it. This one's okay. It's harder to keep sharpened, or it stays sharpened longer, but it's harder to sharpen. But man, like again, the sheath, just a plastic mold with a integrated clip. It's disgusting. I don't like the sheath. Other than what you use it for. You put the knife in here. You put this lightweight Mora Companion in here. You take this and you throw it in wherever you want. This was hanging up on the big 10-foot chain link fence I have around my garden to keep the deer out. Hanging on one of the links all winter. Forgot all about it. I'm sure the stuff, rain, snow got down in there. Cleaned it up a little bit. You can't even tell. This is $20. It's why Moras rule. They really do. What's the negative? It's the fizz factor. It's boring. It's also light. if you want to, if you're really trying to do some woodcraft, break some wood down, baton with it. If I wanted to use this to split a, you know, if you're gonna take down an animal, whatever, if you're gonna process game, probably not the right tool. It's a little too light. You could do some skinning with it, but as far as pelvis is that kind of stuff, probably not. So is it the one and done carry? No. I think the Mora, where the Mora really shines is it is the outstanding companion knife to, not to you, but a companion to another knife. You have a bigger knife and this is your backup, you're smooth sailing. Use this for cutting your boxes, your tape, your string, your twine, and save your other blade for important stuff. And what blade would I save? Obviously, BPS Adventurer. I have carried this more than any of these other knives, and there's a reason for that. It's because this thing, I cannot believe I bought this for under $40. I think it was, when I got it, it was about 34 something, maybe 36. 1055 steel, I get it. It's not your super steels. I cannot tell you what I've put this knife through, and there's no rust. I keep Ballistol on there. I linseed oil the handle. There's no rust. It's still shiny. It is sharp as I probably need to sharpen it. Yes. Do I need to sharpen this about every other time I use it? Yeah. Teaches me how to sharpen. I enjoy sharpening this knife. Like the Mora, if I had to sharpen that all the time, I wouldn't enjoy sharpening. This one I do because you just see the fruits of your labor right away. Couple passes, couple on coarse, a couple on fine, and then you go to your ceramic and then strop it a couple times, and you're like, holy smokes, that is sharp. Let's see if it's still yeah, it's still sharp. It's fantastic blade. Comes with a fire steel. I've actually used the fire steel, works great. We used it camping. I lit the fire with that. I can't say enough about the leather sheath. Let's compare this real quick. I've already done this before, but if you want to compare, this is more expensive. And you look at that. This is 3 times the leather that this is. This is quality. I enjoy putting Obanoffs on this and keeping this leather healthy and fresh, and it's going to hold up forever. And this knife is, of all the knives I own, this is one I would never give up because it's been with me. Okay, so thanks all for watching. Oh, wait a second. All right, I got to give an honorable mention. Let me take a sip. You're not done with me yet. That said, BPS is for the win, except, and I'll do another video on this, I'm sure, late to the party. I'm late to the party on this one. You want to talk about a knife that I cannot believe is under $40. The Watchman FO17 in D2. It's under Watchman Knives. It's actually a brother knife. It is a copy of Survive Knives. You watch the Peterbilt knife channel. Gideon's Tactical, I believe, had this on there. There's a couple others. They put this through the paces, cut nails, did whatever. Hardly took any damage. This is really well heat-treated D2. That knife is the perfect shape for me. That is a Survive Knives. I always wanted that, and this just does it for me. That handle is fantastic. The jimping isn't too deep, so it's perfect on there. It's a high saber grind. The D2 is, again, heat-treated so well. Full tang. This is a steal under $40. The pancake style sheath comes with a Blade Tech wannabe on it, and it is a wannabe. I don't know if that would hold up, but it's cool that it comes with that. I'd much rather have that than the CV Life plastic flipper thing. You could buy this and just be happy that this knife can do it all. So I know that's cheating. That one came in at the end because that one I actually got after I tested all these other ones, and holy smokes, I can't believe that. If I could only keep 2 2, I would keep 3. Sorry, my vote, my thing. I would keep the Brother, FO17. The BPS Adventurer is staying with me, and you cannot go without a Mora. Perfect companion to this. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of that. And I would love to see in the comments people come up with different ones. I know there's some out there I missed. I don't have SOG on here. I don't have, I think I made some notes. Give me, stand by real quick. Yeah, I didn't put any of the 440C knives on here. I know there's some bucks, there's some SOGs. I'm not a huge fan of 440C. Gerber, big on 440C. I think they've got some under 40. You probably find them on Amazon. I know SOGs you can. Other than the Beaver Craft, I wasn't looking for ones with current sales. Most steels in this category need to be sharpened. Yep, that's all I got today. Thanks for being along for the ride. Thanks for watching Whiskey Book, and see you next time.